shocks into my system. But the thing is about 2 months ago, something in my subconscious, I'd just been waiting patiently, basically in bed in this room for 3 or 4 years, in severe pain, screaming in pain, every day almost. And Bill's experienced pushing me around in a wheelchair one time, but I thought just be patient, and using the mind I got through that. And then 2 months ago, something told me, you have to stop this. No one else is going to wean you off of this medicine. And so I had this, made a spreadsheet out, and every hour of the day that I was taking it, because I lost track of how much I was taking, it was like 180 milligrams of morphine probably a day. And it was out of control. And so something said, you need to wean yourself off now. And I don't wish that on anyone, to do that. But I got off slowly, and approximately 2 days before all of a sudden the Zurich conference happened, which was a week or so ago, I had just weaned myself off, and I didn't even know about going to the conference or anything. It happened. So the timing is such, it's a message to me that, yeah, now's the time when everything starts to really move quickly.
I have to say, actually, 2 months ago, I would agree with you that there seemed to be a transition that happened. There's nothing marked in terms of in the news, but there was a sense that things started escalating, almost like rolling downhill quicker. That was the sense I got, and it's interesting that you say that, and you did. You sort of came awake and started on this sort of move that has put you on stage twice now.
But something's happened to where something that was incurable, just all of a sudden, I'm coming back to normal.
Now, from the point of view of the time acceleration matrix, that would have been the 6th day of the galactic era. And in this particular window, which goes from November 8 to November 9, there are many sort of breakthroughs. So if we're all feeling that general breakthrough feeling in our individual lives, that may be coming from the programming put out by the electromagnetic emanations from the black hole at the center of the galaxy that the Mayans called Unalqum, which is the center of all things. I see one, and to ask in particular Bob Dean and Arthur, because they've dealt so much with the area of secrecy. I find myself as one who did not come up in the culture of secrecy, but see secrecy as one of the most powerful forces between the open culture and this breakaway civilization that is the secret civilization. And I found one of the most consciousness-raising aspects to me is to hear of secrets, like the teleportation corridors to Mars, like the forward positions on Mars, the stargates to Australia, and to just begin to see all of these secret programs to really consciousness expand that.
Well, exactly. The information itself, just to hear it, like what happened for these people yesterday on stage when you were showing photographs that were really revolutionary because they've been hidden for so long, and then to have a person who actually would get up on stage and say, I've been to Mars and here I am a human. And that was, I think, mind expanding for the audience in ways that we won't be able to even trace.
Is it historical, no?
Yeah, I mean, you know, and obviously I don't even know if it'll go out around the world other than because Camelot will do our bit, right? But this is the kind of thing that changes consciousness. And one of the things I have to say is that consciousness changes drastically all of a sudden. It's not like a slow, gradual. It goes along, and then from what I understand, change actually happens like that.
Well, even greater than, faster than logarithmic is my feeling.
You get step change.
Well, I don't know if it's step changes or not. I don't know if it's like that, but digitized or not.
So Bob, what would you say? Because you have kind of a little more pragmatic view, correct me if I'm wrong, along with the spiritual insight. But I think you're seeing these changes, or you know of things that are coming down the pipe that are very pragmatic for people's lives.
Well, I found secrecy actually to be corrosive to the human soul. And that's one of the reasons I have been speaking out so bluntly and so loudly for the last few years. I noticed among the masses of people that I've confronted in conferences here and there an overriding sense of fear. And the secrecy had been taking its toll on those people. And they were fearful, and they didn't believe they had a future. They began to think there was no future, that we're all doomed. And one of the reasons I came to this conference, and I gave it a lot of thought before I accepted the invitation, because I don't like traveling anymore. I really don't like flying in airplanes anymore. And I came here to, I think, alleviate in one small way the secrecy that I had observed was corrosive to the human soul. And I wanted to tell the people, and this audience in particular, to meet some people like Alfred here, who is a man I've respected and admired for years. There is hope. In spite of all of the darkness, in spite of all of the fear, I would like to say to the people who are interested in listening that there is a tomorrow, there is a future, and they and their children and their grandchildren and so on, the generations yet to come, do indeed have a future, and it's glorious. And they've got to hold on to that spark of belief. They've got to hold on to that hope. And it's why I quoted Tolstoy yesterday when I was speaking, when he mentioned that there is something within the human spirit that will prevail and endure. There's a spark that's burning in the human heart that will not go out, no matter how dark the world ever becomes. And I have tried in my small way to convey that to the people. And I was so gratified at the response that I got. They've come up to me literally by the hundreds. I mean, I say this in no negative intent, but they haven't let me alone. The idea that I've said something hopeful and tell them that they do have a tomorrow, they have a future, that their children and grandchildren will go to the stars. That is the one thing that they need to hold on to. There is a future, there is a destiny for the human race in the stars. And that's why I'm here, that's why I came, to add my small 2 or 3 cents to this whole thing.
Well, I would also say that another thing that you tell them is that they have a right to know.
Oh, God, they do indeed.
And I think that just gets a fire burning inside them.
Well, I've been furious. The fire burning inside of me has erupted several times. And it's dangerous. My very nature, back when I was an infantryman for years and years and years, I was not a gentle man. You pushed my buttons, pushed me just a little too far. I had the tendency to become somewhat explosive. And need I say, I had a tendency to be a little bit dangerous. And it's one of the reasons why the black ops people have left me alone. Because I put the word out after, I had been followed in black sedans for a long time at night. Yeah. I had the midnight phone calls. I had the black helicopter over my house. And I put out the word that I was a veteran of 2 wars. I suffered from post-traumatic stress syndrome, and I could not be trusted emotionally. And if you pushed me a little too far, I was an expert marksman, and I carried a gun. Beware, and mess with me, I might end up shooting a bunch of you guys. And the black limousine stopped following me, the black helicopters disappeared, and the midnight phone calls stopped. So the word evidently got out that don't push this old bastard because he can be dangerous, you see.
Except you also had white hats behind you.
Oh, listen, let me tell you, honey, I have a lot of good friends in high places. And I admitted at this conference things I've never admitted publicly before. I do indeed have good friends in high places. And I say that with a little bit of tongue in cheek, because these high places,
They go up and up and up.
they go out and out and out, yeah.
For the conference, since for the last few weeks, they're the ones, whatever they are, the invisible part of the whole thing is, whatever it is
Yeah.
very powerful, and everyone feels it in the conference. In the conferences, they're all expressing the same feelings. I think at least 98%.
Arthur, the human race is a work in progress.
Yeah.
And who has been running this experiment?
Who's been running? Yeah, yes, well, but they've given us the freedom, too, at the same time.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
we're an adolescent species.
Yeah.
We haven't quite graduated yet.
We just need to learn to work as a family instead of fighting each other.
We are not quite adults yet.
Yeah.
We are troublesome adolescents, almost on the edge of being adults. But we're going to make it.
Now, just to pick up this thread here of secrets and of the deconstruction and making public of secrets, yesterday here at the summit, the high point of the summit was when, after Bob spoke and revealed a number of fundamental secrets, Arthur came on the stage spontaneously and also revealed a number of secrets.
Not much.
And
That's
no, but I mean,
Enough.
in context, it was a revelation that our solar system